table now, where the government of Kuwait, then they ask for, make them send about 100 medical doctors, and they want about 500 nurses for make them go. My argument is, the last time the Minister of Finance announced for, say, out of the unemployed nurses, they wouldn't graduate over the years, they will recruit about 4,000. There was jubilation because over the last 5-10 years, the recruitment into the public service was restricted because of budgetary constraints. But we have these people in the system who don't graduate and they want for work. So if they need them somewhere, it is but natural that they are allowed to go and work there. Then go gain hands-on experience, and then we'll come back, then we'll provide more services to the country. Most of them jobs are they take them 2 years, on the 1 year, 6 months, on the 3 years maximum. So we to explore them because we can't continue to keep people unemployed when there are opportunities outside that they can explore. The only thing what you do, they make sure we streamline the processes to make it more transparent, and at the same time, we believe in dignity of labor. So I don't begin the discussions with the representative of the United Nations for God will be make. I'll be able for service some of the people that will be there. The tell me myself will get small work na the higher load. So all of it na contact. So we'll get for reactivate them, and we'll get for make sure say it happens. So I will call for the lifting of the temporary ban. The temporary ban don't take over 2-3 years. So that's not too temporary again.
All right. So you make mention of this overseas traveling. Other company them, other country they do am successful one. You make mention of the Chinese them, even the one there where they can also. But inside salon, we don't hear many a time there when they can go out, can be successful for them. They get very, very bad experience them. And you also make mention of the agency the way they plenty agency then they some they will register, some they will not register. You talk about government need for put structure now. So this is urgent for you because we see say in as much as we hear much complain, we will see also young people and more want for go anyhow for go work na overseas. So how passionate are you about this for make sure say the recruitment process be done well and people know who side people they go suffer like in the case of the Lebanon case?
Definitely, it's urgent. We put in the structures. Of course, the COVID still exists. So along the line where this so now I make for do the structural arrangement and make sure say everything is properly organized for me to go work on that. So it's urgent. We will work on them. We will make sure say we reverse the trend. As I say, most of them people they suffer, so they not go through the correct processes. So we will make sure say we engage their institutions where they will not recognize the ministry as agents and see how they collaborate with them. But some of them programs are not direct government to government also. So you not go refuse them. Otherwise, it will strain the kind of bilateral relationship where the government we don't sign with them, certain the international organizations.
The one there where they struggle right now within other country, the way they call for help. What's in the ministry they do with them?
Well, last week Friday, I received a letter from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs indicating that with the Lebanon, the institution of migration, they try for bring them come. We not get for pay nothing, so we don't commit the industrial relations unit from the ministry. Ask them for attend the meeting on Tuesday, that is tomorrow, for work on that. So then they repatriate them. Then they come back, then people, and then they
so it's all I experienced.
And the most important thing, when then they go, governments don't know. When they go face and circumstances, they become a limelight for government.
So, but other one they were successful. We don't go under the right way. We successful. We know they about their own story there.
No, of course, most of the one they were not they're successful. Me, I can talk category. Like one of me security, Abubakar, now they work for the school feeding program. They want I will be sending them. Don't come. We get lady then at Kisiro when we must go can pass that money when we the traffic break day. They say now even send me look me money now and the market way they run just by Patton Street and Kisiro. So they have been going. Some of them don't come, then they do very well. So they're able to proceed further. So then they get friends there within the institution where they work. They don't carry and go to Canada, so they carry and go to America. So everybody gets in your luck.
All right. We'll continue for the with we Alpha Timbo, Minister of Labor. The program now. Good morning, Salon.
We will continue with the program and look at other issues of the program now as some important is concerned about how they say some business people they come with goods inside the country, illegal one, where this according to them they affect them business. The Commissioner General now the National Revenue Authority, NRA Dr. Samuel Jibao, say NRA self they get challenge for collect revenue from business people where they smuggle and goods them for Canada country. Well, Waniga Oja gets more on this and go reports.
One party way them where government can get our money for take care of the country economy now through taxation. National Revenue Authority now they responsible for the get a tax for government and get different border crossing points them so that people them where they come inside the country with tin them go able pay tax to government. But reports don't show say Salon get plenty illegal border crossing points them where NIA not able man and serve police presence and security knocking day. Now that make illegal business they happen at inside them day as people they smuggle tin them inside the country where they make government they lost money and self they affect the business people.
The illegal border crossing point is so boku that it's not practically possible for let we put personnel in all illegal crossing points. That could be a difficult situation. And I not see anywhere in the world safe. And the number of border crossing points, even if I say the other units are honor for work and they deploy all my staff there, they understanding at the border, it will be still challenging. Just in the north alone, we get over 50 something from one sector no more, and particularly the situation can get even challenging when doing the drives.
You be listen to Dr. Jibao, the Commissioner General na the National Revenue Authority, where he be dey talk about the illegal entry points here, and he be dey respond to some concern them, wey come out from some importer them, where they pass through the right channel, as they say, people where they smuggle tin them can at the country, they make their own business, they get challenged.
We don't get a series of reports of people that would smuggle goods them, who na expired goods them, who not good for human consumption. We don't know how they come in, but that they affect we the genuine importers them, especially we would the import commodities in the country. So if somebody go bring expired goods them, it come undercuts the genuine importer in price. As a result, it affects the business system so much. Because if somebody come undercuts you while you don't go pay the full price na custom and income within goods them through the back door, of course we forget sales.
Then importer here continue say then still they pay the same couple where them for pay during normal term. And people where they beat the system, not can pay nothing. Where can make them importer here say, then can increase them, price them, for tin them na market.
Recently, of course, sales slow, everything just go down. Cash no day, money no day. Sales slow. The increase in cost where COVID bring and the business community. When businessman say business slow, that means the sales very, very slow. If you go to one store, then go tell you say this product is 500 leons. Then you go to the other store and go tell you 800 leons. Totally, you have a judgment saying that other store is a crook store, and which is the real, the legitimate store, the man who do business legitimately. You go tell and say that person there in goods and too high, the thief and all the rest of it. Then you go to the other man and say 500. You not care for no. Why that man sell 500? And we own business, we institution as Sierra Leone importers, ethics, we hold them highly.
According to Dr. Jibao again, the illegal TIA, where people involved in, they get bad effects on revenue collection.
Quite aware of the danger with smuggling the cause, to the business sector. Because when it bypass customs, it bypass the official border crossing, they go through the bush, it go difficult, it go be a challenging thing. Because when you deprive government, waiting government go get for providing basic things like health, education, or they talk about the free education, or they talk about medical facility, or they talk about roads, it go difficult.
But our NIA plan for address this concern.
Now, make one, we don't get a unit where purely in charge of border controls. That is number one. Now, number two, we don't pass the act on pass now for level get what you call a tax stamp. Now, the tax stamp, the essence of that tax stamp, now for enable we for fight the smuggling, not only at the border, but even when the goods don't enter the market. Where we get that stamp there, it get barcode on her. if you enter with your products, you know, get, and that means you don't bypass the official border crossing. And if you meet another shop, now offense. And when you bypass the official, the danger also, apart from the other businesses, you go come with something will expire. We're not good for the health of the nation. So we go make it clear to the people. Then once the tax stamp don't really operationalize, that not buy anything product like that, we not get this stamp. Not buy, because if you buy it, you risk your head, because that means standards bureau no see, and that means phytosanitary, if now other products then no see.
With all this, Dr. Jibao say, from where he begin head NIA, they don't fight for tap people, where they smuggle tin them, come na the country. We make it call on people, where they tap near them illegal crossing points here, for turn watchman for people, where they into them act here. As he say, NIA can arrest them kind people here, and charge them go court. For Radio Democracy, me, Nawani Gauja.
Okay now. What my true Sierra Leone is that the people that we're proud of, the green, white, and blue, want to do something for the country, man. Let me see your hands up. Come on. What's a presidency gets alone, or vice presidency gets alone. Salon not for all Salomon. Do something if you like Salon. Yeah. Not to the government he gets alone, or any political party gets alone. Salon not for all Salomon. Do something if you like Salon. Yeah. I said do something, yeah, if you like Salon. Oh. And stop for the complaint, oh. I said Salon, now we all know. Make we all join and Salon and find it. Cause no matter what we do, no matter where we go, we get no place like home. Think of what we can do, for help Mama Salon. Open your eyes, rise up. I want to do something and stop for the complaint. Every small thing you say, the government. If you hear that yourself, you say, now the government. You even buck your food self, the government. Spend all your time they complain about the system. But tell me, what thing do you when you not go do something for Salone? He don't tell you they complain, that is why I can tell you say, not a presidency gets alone, or vice presidency gets alone. Salon not for all Salomon. Do something if you like Salon. Yeah. Not to the government he gets alone, or any political party gets alone. Salon not for all Salomon. Do something if you like.
Alright, I hope so you enjoy the message. And I'm short music break where we give now as Alonzo do that one day way in name do something. The program Good Morning Salon they continue, and we take short commercial break and continue for look at more issues.
GhanaSongs.org. They causing confusion.
But this confused me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in Wall Solid. Look him block them with them beach for him, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand that they use for beach me own. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind of magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life, and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement now the highest grade cement in the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when a one day come na this country, and a one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want you concrete, wall, and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na all the shop and building material store na the one whole country.
Roquette commercial bank don't make a the back na me phone. Roquette commercial bank go make you the worker with your bank na you phone. They been come with SIM couple and now they don't increase the facility. For sure say na them na the alagba from banking business na now they don't come with SIM couple plus. They don't come with SIM couple plus. This service go allow you for Need to post it with the salon anytime you want. It no matter the mobile coming where you there. As you send me go get some quick one. What's nice inside salon you there? You money go reach you. It no matter if you there na the east, west, north, south. So secure then you go na Google Play Store and search for the app. SIM Copper Plus I say download them. Follow the instructions and register your device. The process no long now if you reach 2 minutes. When you done the bank go send message na your phone. For confirm say na your phone number bang bang. Enjoy e-copper and more facilities. SIM Copper Plus e come for we all. You dey na city or village just na salon you dey. You e-copper go reach you dey. Enter top up self now they under the facility. With e-copper you can cash out your money from any local commercial bank agent or branch all around the country.
All right, we continue with the program. Good morning, Salon. And we still get the Minister of Labour, Alpha Timbo, on the program. They talk about things them we plan for do for improve the labour sector in the country. Now, Mr. Timbo, you don't come back na the ministry and like you don't they explain but the challenges them we did it. And also from your background, you get long years of experience in labour issues. Well, which one of all these now the immediate one for make sure say you improve on that sector there?
Thank you very much. One of the first ones now for review the labor laws. You know, the labor laws, in me handing over notes 2007 to the incoming minister then when the APC win. That are one of the key priorities at that time for making them review the labor laws. And this review of the labor laws not start from the chair, maybe the Labour Congress. Up to date, we still labor and the review of the labor laws.
What's not good inside the law there we need review?
Well, plenty aspects don't become obsolete. Like I mentioned just now, when you talk about the registration of employees Act Cap 212, some of them and I need for amalgamate them. You know, they find themselves now three aspects within the law books them. We scattered in different places. All you need for now for consolidate them. You understand? A greater part of the things they're waiting they do, then fine. For instance, the Regulation of Wages and Industrial Relations Act, 1974. Then the way government want to establish the Wages Commission, you find that for say the Joint National Negotiating Board, when a provision at the Regulation of Wages and Industrial Relations Act, then they set up a body where they responsible for that, and the Wages Commission. So you find that some aspects of the law have been taken and put into other legislations where they make, for avoid the conflict of laws, you have to make sure, say, you extract them one and the way other legislations don't take, and you consolidate one. So this consolidation of the labor laws, the Regulation of Wages, Industrial Relations Act, the Employers' Employer, all in one and they will get to make sure, say, we review them because, as I say, for meet the current standards then. That's one of the key functions who I think we will get for can do. The second part of that, as I've been saying, for operationalize then key legislation, so I've been mentioned just now. When I talk about the overseas employment, we don't talk about it exhaustively and make sure see the slushy come into operation. And make I just talk small on the issue of the slushy while they talk about operationalization. Slushy now one of the big things that way this country get for inherits after NASIT. Right? I give a typical example. Say you are a teacher. January come, then pay you salary, then pay you medical allowance together. February, March, April, May, 5 months, then pay you salary. All they go to medical allowance. Say, for instance, you earn 100,000 medical allowance. So for the 5 months, you get 500,000, which is supposed to be at your disposal, should in case you contract a minor ailment or you need to go to hospital. But come the 6 months, when at June 15th, you can contract an ailment. They get to go to hospital. At that time, they did not pay the salaries of the worker yet. Then how you will get money for go hospital, right? Especially so when you find out that they save that 100,000 meant for medical allowance. So most of the people then they contract diseases the way they take them to their graves as a result of the fact that then measures shall not be done there.
All right.
So social security, the minimum standard for social security convention 102, we set up the minimum standard for social protection. Now he put contingencies then way society for put in place for cover the workers them. So now he make NASIT being get old age, invalidity, death and survivors. Okay. So what in the slushy they do now for bring out the health insurance aspect of it. But the policy wey NASIT been follow for set am up na in this one. You get for determine, you get for carry actuarial studies for determine the rate of contribution, the benefit structure, the qualifying conditions. All of this has been done now. Right? What it led if we make sure see now, when they operationalize them, if they find out for say government will come up from this system, will be say then will continue for buy drugs, everything will be
can't talk about slashy some other time because now one way will be done hearing but all of a sudden it will be done it don't calm down. But we can't talk about any importance and the benefits we will get to Salon people. We'll come back to you, Mr. Timbo, inside the program. Good morning, Salon.
Right, so they look at other issues outside the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohammed Rahman Suarez, said the 2020 Electronic Communication Bill, where then they work on now for turn law, go give active role to mobile network operator them for put poll na deprived community them, so that people then will get access to mobile communication. Mohammed Rahman Suarez talked this inside one 3-day national stakeholder workshop for the validation of the National Electronic Communication Bill 2020, where the Ministry of Information and Communication, together with the National Telecommunications Commission and different telecommunication partner them, be all nabo over the weekend. Also, then go talk about the thing them where they want for see inside the 2020 Electronic Communication Act. You know, Kabia gets more, it go reports.
Communication don dey grow every day with the information communication technology wey don dey improve na the world wey make the body wey responsible for regulate telecommunication as Salon, the National Telecommunication Commission (NATCOM), together with the Ministry of Information and Communication, dey work now for change the 2006 Telecommunication Act and the 2009 Amendment Telecommunication Act for say Salon dey in line with the current happenings na the telecommunication world wey make NATCOM and the Ministry of Information and Communication don end one 3-day national stakeholder workshop for the validation of the National Electronic Communication Bill 2020 with different stakeholders dem na the telecommunication sector na body street. Outside dem go ask them people some panditin dem wey dem go want for see inside this new act. Where this act go give NATCOM more power for make the law begin bet people dem wey they go against the different telecommunication law dem na the country. Madiana Samba, na the acting chairman for NATCOM, talk more about this.
This new commission here also will make sure say anything away will not put the new things and will change now na the ICT world. Now people and more they use data, people and they use IoT, Internet of Things. So you they talk about artificial intelligence. So you they see robots will do things there. We not reach that level there, but we want to make an act where for the next 10-20 years we will go and sit down back and change it. But we will look at security of the sector. We know say now all the time we they say people they mobile them, then they hack people in computers them, people they send hate speeches now using their mobile phones them. So cyber security don't become a big concern for government. This is a national security issue, and we want to make sure say data protection key inside this new lawyer.
Outside in continue for talk about some panditin dem where the commission go want for achieve where this bill go don turn to law.
The commission will get for change to an authority. We mean say we will get for enforcing powers. We will get for talk about compliance. People that will not comply to the law then will not condone when we all don't agree on. Then one and they will get for enforce and they will get for face the law.
But within this new 2020 new communication bill mean for the mobile operator them na the country, Afi Afnam, na the General Secretary for Orange Mobile Company, explain.
This new communication bill or the Telecoms Act, when them pass out, now like we bloodline, we backbone. And without this law, we no exist. So this is why we take them very, very serious, and we want to be a partner in the development of ICT. But in doing so, we want to ensure that we consult properly and that we have the relevant provisions in line with international standards, so that at the end of the day, we all happy say the law we go produce at the end of the day go be beneficial for not only we but for all Sierra Leonean and the sector.
Honorable Ambrose Mada-Lebi, now member of Parliament for constituency 083 Nabo District and SEF, now the deputy chairman for the Information and Communication Committee na Parliament, say where this bill go na Parliament, then go make sure say then take na the different stage them for make it go turn to law.
When once the bill go, then bring and come to Parliament, we they take the lead as a committee in connection, in collaboration with legislative committee in Parliament to let it go through the different stages before it become law. We they support government business for every document with them or bill or whatever paper or agreement they bring come Parliament, as long as it did in the best interest of this country.
Where immediate talk for sake of the All People's Congress APC party, the member of parliament or constituency 077 at Kafobulom, Honorable Abdul Kabo say they're ready for support government for CSA, then turn this bill to law.
After the documents go to parliament, now we own documents now. We get the tendency for affect anyhow. So we go influence and they proper for make sure say we get the best document for the betterment of the telecoms industry in this country. We always don't dey in line with good things that way the government they do, and we oppose the thing that will feel say not in the interest of the country.
Whose kind role civil society organization them gets for play by this validation process? William Saul Lamin, now the national coordinator for civil society organization on service delivery.
As civil society would expect say at the end of this program, NATCOM and the Ministry of Information for able to empower civil society and journalists, for able to cover the entire country. Because we were there, even if we reach 100, but we are talking about 7 million population. The people that they be in Kurubola, the people that be in Pendembu, Nakailan district, and across the country also need for add and voice to this document. Also need for know exactly what we do today in Abu City. That what we discuss, what we put in the document, then some got the right for able to know about what's inside the document.
Inside Inyun talk, the Minister of Information and Communication, Mohamed Rahman Sware say the 2020 Electronic Communication Bill go give support to mobile operator them for make them go get poll them na the deprived community them na the country for CSA themselves able for enjoy better mobile communication.
You will go now side and where nobody not don't go provide telephone service for example, you go now then side and they talk about incentives then for example for encouraging and let them go now far-flung communities, unserved and underserved communities for go deliver services there. We can talk about a lot of things where Ministry of Finance there. You will refuse once you put law inside, you refuse, there will be clear punishment regimes, either fines and suspensions and all of that. So this law will be very clear, it will speak to the current and emerging challenges in the sector. They address a couple of issues. Environmentally, then tower the whole boku one side, who would not able to solve that problem.
Waiting this new bill mean for consumer them. Ibrahim Kabiam, now the executive director for the Consumer Protection Agency.
Most of the things that we then don't put on, if not all, they favor the consumer side. Because whatever you say, the protection of the consumer, like for instance, on cyber security, me on privacy, the need for protection, I need for be informed. And I think in fact now that other clause there, when I one of the major clauses for say the right to be informed. Ibrahim
Kabia end up say after with this new 2020 electronic communication bill go down turn to law, they hope say mobile operator them gets for begin give better quality of service to them customer them. For Radio Democracy, Kabia the report.
Program now Good Morning Salon, and they come to you from 98.1 FM. We still get the Minister of Labour inside the program. I be one draw your attention to the issue of some of the laws them where you make review of functions, where you don't go na some other agency or some other acts them. So I be want to know how you plan now for work with regards that, since that be the function of the Ministry of Labour. But before that, I get this message from the Director for Local Content Agency. It says it's great having the Honourable Minister of Labour back to such strategic ministry, and to draw his attention to the membership of Local Content Agency on the Work Permit Committee, which according to the Act should be chaired by the Minister of Labour. Section 56, subsection 1 of the Local Content Act 2016 placed an obligation on the agency to multinational companies in terms of expertise quotas before approval by the Minister of Labour. My agency has only been invited to one committee meeting, among others, for almost a period of 2 years since my appointment as TG of this agency. This lack of collaboration is impeding our agency's operation as required by law, and remain hopeful that Mr. Timbo will prioritize this provision, among others. I look forward to working closely with the Honourable Minister as he resume office to deliver on our respective mandates. like I say, come out from Mr. Dabo, now the local content agency. So this, and also combine the issue of functions we don't be transferred to other areas. How you plan for work?
Well, not true. Boku functions, they now don't become shared. Yeah, I talk about like social protection, for instance. The social safety net, now we, the Ministry of Labour, we introduced some. That's initially as a pilot during the APC time. That time, the chief of staff was originally an employee of NACSA at that time. So what happened, the transitional, go to NACSA, something, a whole different story. But now it in NACSA, part of it in the ministry. So our intent for work, of course, NACSA, they under the office of the vice president. And with the vice president, the chair social protection, and the minister of labor, and the deputy chair. So there is already a kind of synergy existing there. So me, I will take on right from there for make sure see the collaboration, they become more robust so that people can go able to see the effectiveness of the social safety net in terms of implementation nationally. So in that particular respect, now for work closely with colleagues them within the other departments and agencies where they carry similar functions for make us see how jointly we go able to carry out government function, especially like under social protection side. We come out the can to the inspections where I've been talk about this now. Right? We be say that are really the function of the Ministry of Labour for make sure they carry the inspection. Part of them we don't go to the NACIT because NACIT gets an inspectorate wing instead for carry something similar with the inspectorate na the Ministry of Labour they do. So now we get for do joint inspection for make sure we save the cost because most of the elements they look out when you go for inspection, the two institutions they carry that. So for avoid government or the institution spending twice on something when not the same, we will make sure for maximize the best use of limited resources. We go undertake them like joint inspection. Many other things don't go, but what I will say summarize on that side is that now he left with the minister for make sure we develop good relationship with the other ministries. So some of them functions here go there, see how we go able to carry them out jointly. Maybe over time, some of them will come back wholly to the Ministry of Labour. But let me just say, I don't go on as you don't we ask me this not the question, we'll see what I plan for do. I just want to give a quick snipe on ACIT. Right?
Yeah, because we just want to ask you, since you be establish them, the institution, and indirectly they under your supervision. So far, from waiting to be formed NACIT for to date, we see that they do that function there.
Yes, to a large extent, they don't discharge the mandate of the trust itself. Challenges then they, but of course, they surmount them. This now without prejudice to the other people that will be not serve as head of the institution, but gradually the current possibility they seemingly they try for put measures for bring back to the image of the trust they carry there. But maybe I just say this for say, and if then they listen to me, then one day we do work and that's it for now. During the time I've been in the opposition, key things are what they expect quick from them, right? While we've been in opposition, I did a letter to the then Director General of NACIT asking a number of questions, especially when the repute of the image of the trust don't come into serious repute. Journalists, then they lambast the trust, then they have then they must manage funds. So that's been compared me as a pioneer for the trust and also as a voluntary contributor at that time for write a letter to the Director General NACIT asking a number of questions we then never acknowledged. When the former president, Nesbai Kuruma, Naina been the chairman of the establishment committee at the time where they set up NACIT, I submitted a similar letter to Ram for making go evoke the trust for reply to them, which he never did. So in first meeting with this, the management of this trust, I would expect answers to that particular letter I give them. I will ask the Director General.
Even though management the leadership change?
Yes, the girl gets social she going to get perpetual succession, right? The state now they underwrite the scheme. Now you make anything will go bad day, now the state eventually get for pay. So the state gets a responsibility for make sure they manage the trust efficiently. So they will have to provide answer to that because I'm very concerned, like at the sit also, they approach me age of retirement. I've been on the contribute formally from the sector. When they pull me as minister, I will contribute voluntarily so that I go able to meet the minimum period of contribution so that we get full pension. So I always be mindful about that because if we not take seriousness into that, it will affect we future standard of living. So that letter then get for reply to that.
So waiting to be their concern there. Waiting to be inside this letter.
No, I don't want Boku. So I'm not going to mention them. Sometimes after they don't meet them later, if we get opportunity, I go mention them. That's not number one. Number two also, when we formulate the act, we mention the social security clearance certificates, and that I want to talk small. The social security clearance certificates will be included under the act for make sure say we improve on the level of compliance of employers then in terms of the payment of contribution for the employees to the trust and on time. And over the years, we don't find that we see some employers, including government, the previous government also, being the own assets, huge amounts of money without paying to the trust, where they cause loss of income to the trust itself. Secondly, find out we see contractors, then people who open business enterprises, then some of them, allegedly, they give them social security clearance certificates the way we actually not don't register them contributors.
When you find out all this, where you know actually meet with the leadership aides, for me they explain to you say now these people are not they comply or they not they comply on time. How you know but then issue?
No, I say information will come about work employers not honoring their obligations, and I make a talk say therefore listen to that side now. So before they meet them, now a question for say now true or not true. You understand? So the clearance certificate regime now a very important aspect of the social security for make sure to improve on compliance. Because the solvency of the scheme, it depends on the contributions where they receive. Now they go able for do investments so that they go able to increase the future pensions of individuals. So that's very serious, right? So we go for look into the social security clearance regime. Then also the investment policy of the trust. These are policies established at the time where we left. We don't see them, we don't review them, then we go for take a look into them. So the state of affairs of the trust as at now, definitely we will provide that because the Minister of Labour gets an obligation for give periodic reports to Cabinet as to the solvency of the scheme, so that at the end of the day, the state that is responsible for underwrite the scheme, they're not going to be taken unawares. Time will come when people feel say NASITs forget money for paying pension. But if government not they paying contributions on time, other employers not they pay them contributions on time, then that's going to affect the trust. Thank God, we will be the pioneers for establishing trust. Today we all
still there alive.
Right? Me day now as minister, we get Justice Sengu Kuroma, where they preside over the Social Security and Industrial Court Division of the High Court, now the judge there, and the Chief Justice where they so now, Justice Babatunde Edwards, happened to be the first prosecutor at the time we set up NASIT. So we have an opportunity for make sure say we bring back the image of the trust and make sure say the level of compliance with some employers, then over the years, we work with the management for make sure say we improve the effectiveness for make sure say we collect the contribution, including 98.1.
Oh, they comply.
All right.
With NASITs fully and on time.
All right.
Mr. Minister, we're about to wrap up the program. Back to how we start. We get to do with the allegations and we be there against you and for other people. But the 30,000 bag rest where the ACCB they investigate on for. As I've been stated earlier, you're not an active politician. So this particular issue, you see, in any way say it will dent your political career or give you anything we go discourage you for further your political ambition?
No, you see, now we are politicians. This don't mean nothing to me. You understand? It is expected, and when you normally get them kind of situations, you have to make sure you overcome them. I don't believe say anybody they try for point at me like for bring me down. But of course, I care for my image. That I have worked for over the years. Both as a teacher and I work as a trade union leader in a council government. So I care about my reputation very well.
So in as much as you care about your reputation, you like ask for an apology or something from the SCC because according to you, you know, so you don't clear your name.
No, we don't need to ask for apology to the ACC. As I say, let me say this for say, like me and one person who believes say the ACC don't do very well from the time where the president Nadabi come and they with the new commissioner, I think they don't do very well. What you know I want for make them get the moral courage for make them know say not to all things then they win. Right? You know mean say when you prosecute you get for win. So they win and as the commissioner been don't talk at some points, they don't make substantial gains in somewhere. Right? So if some areas then they're not able to prove their own case to a point where EBC, no, then we could have continue for improving their image. They should be able to be magnanimous. And I think say that is the way we have to go. I still believe say the institution is a very important institution. I still believe say that they do very well at the institution, but I not take anyway because I just feel say there should not be any reason why somebody would just sit down no more. You want to say, okay, it's time for put dents on me. In terms of the political ambition, we get a president, right? There is no ambition anymore. We just get for make sure we work with the president. We just do 2 years moving to 3. So the time long for politics, right? So the new direction, power will get for make sure alone get for better.
All right. Many thanks for joining at the program this morning, Alpha Timbo, Minister of Labour. Thank you we can at the program this morning. Now, this edition of the program, Good Morning Salon Golefuna. Plenty thank you to the production team. Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Koroma will produce the program. DJ Lavagui technical support. Moses Kavra make on see you live on Facebook and YouTube. So till we meet again, Mabel Kabade, so get yourself a wonderful week. Goodbye.
And me Asma James Division, a very blessed week.